Okay, so this is coming down the stairs, entering the library. First statue we come to is the quarter scale Han Solo. There's 250 of these produced from the Battle of Yavin, kind of the guardian of the library. So we'll turn to the left and enter what I've come to term the Star Wars room. First we have the boys. And as you can see, I've done a galaxy motif on the ceiling in this room. So as we come in, we'll pan around the room real quick. We have 3 different lightsabers. It's Luke's original lightsaber. We also have Darth Vader's and Mace Windu's. Now, turning the corner here, we have Luke on Dagobah. This is the scene where he's on the planet with Yoda completing his training. This is a quarter scale also, so it's about 18-20 inches tall. I did all the diorama work. So, coming up here, we have the pewter pieces. All of these are limited to 15,000 in production. Down here we have the helmet collection. Start with the Rebel helmet. Then we have the Stormtrooper, followed by Darth Vader, and lastly Boba Fett, which is actually authenticated and signed by Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in the movie. Okay, now we'll go over to the Mandalorian corner. This is the limited edition 1/6 scale Mandalorian. And this is Grogu, or the child. And below there we have the half-scale bust for both the Mandalorian and Grogu. Those are limited to 1,000 each. Now also up here, limited to 1,000, are the other half-scale bust. We have the TIE Fighter pilot, Ahsoka Tano. We have a Darth Vader collectible cookie jar. We have the Emperor, and we have Boba Fett. Coming back and looking underneath there, we have a large collection of the 18-inch figures spanning all the movies. We of course have Borsk and Greedo, bounty hunters from the first movie. We have Rogue One with Jyn and Robot, and then Rey and Kylo Ren from Awakens. Now moving over into this corner, we back up so you can see everything. Have what I'm calling a Hoth corner from Empire Strikes Back. This was when you had Luke and Han on the Tauntauns. This is Han. He's limited to 3,000 pieces with his mini bust. And in the middle, we have the Wampa from the movie. He stands about 18 inches tall and is quite heavy. And there was only 650 of these made, so it's very rare. And we have the mini bust of Luke, as well as Luke on Tauntaun. And he had 4,000 of these were produced, but this one's special because it's been personally autographed by Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker. So, panning around to this side, up top here we have a collection of the Disney collectibles. Up top are the villains. We have the Captain Phasma, Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, and Boba Fett. Down below we have Chewie and the Porgs, Rey, BB-8. We have the young Han Solo with Chewbacca. We have Jen from Rogue One and another BB-8 statue there. So now scanning around behind the door, we have the 1/7 scale figures, which include Ben Kenobi, Yoda, Stormtrooper, and the Kylo Ren. So now if we head back out where we came in, we're looking at this wall here. And when the right ones are pulled to release the door, it opens in. Alright. So in here we start with the first Windstone collection. These I started collecting in the early 80s. They were available at the Wicks and Stick store in the mall. And they were so realistic and well done that I ended up collecting pretty much all of these over the years. And in this corner we have the Witcher display, which is the, there you go, there's Geralt the Witcher right there with his sword. And I try to, when I put weapons in here, to put a picture above it to tie in just exactly what the character is and what the weapon means. Now back below here we have a dragon table and lamp. Alright, so panning on around in this room, we have some more of the Windstone collectible pieces. And then on around, and we'll be looking at the Predator display. So we have the original Xenomorph, which moved into the movie Prometheus. And then of course we've got Arnold facing off against the Predator and Predator. Then we move to Alien versus Predators. This being the first Kenner collectible for Predator, which is very hard to find. And in the middle is a life-size skeleton. Only 750 of these were produced for the alien creature, for Predator I should say. Now on the back of the door we have his mask, as well as film cells that were actually cut from the original movie, this one being Alien vs. Predator. I have a number of these film sets, film collectibles throughout the library. Okay, so that having been said, let's go over here, pull the magic thing, and open it up yet again. And this will take us into the next edge of the library. Here's another Windstone collectible, this being unicorns. And in each one of these settings I try to have a wizard. He's not always a wizard, sometimes his spells go wrong, but I try to get him represented in all of them. And on the back of the doors we have artwork. And then over here we have some collectible bookends. This one being The Hobbit. The other end over here is, of course, Gandalf knocking. And over here we have some film cells from Jurassic Park, as well as the beginning of the Star Wars plates. Then we have King Kong collectible bookends. Another plate. We have some film cells from the Hunger Games. And then we have the bookends from Narnia. There's Aslan, and there's the Ice Queen. Now, behind us here, we have a sword, which in this case is Excalibur, King Arthur's sword there. Turning around behind there, we have more of the Windstone collection. The big one there in the middle weighs about 35 pounds. There was only 1,000 of these ever produced. And as we work our way around, you'll see there's the wizard, but he's a frog this time. And on this side, we have the collectible mini bobbleheads from the Universal movies. Dracula, Hunchback, Wolfman, The Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon, of course Frankenstein. All of those movies we kind of grew up with, started watching when we were young. Then we go down to the Indiana Jones display. This has associated mini bust. And in the middle, we have the bronze statue. This is one of only 500 Indiana bronze statues produced. And we even have his hat up there. Okay, turning around to this wall, top will be the Firefly display. This is where I've started trying to utilize books or reference books behind everything in order to tie in the books with the reference books and the collectibles. Collectible mini bust, fully signed cast picture. Now below here we have the Jerry Anderson collectibles. Here we have Supercar. There's only 200 of these sculptures produced. We have the Konami scale models from UFO, as well as the Thunderbirds. And then right down here we have the XL5 scale model, which is one I had to produce from the Philippines. I had to get produced in the Philippines in order to find it, but it's really nice. We're going to open yet another door, and this will take us in to the next room, which starts out with the Game of Thrones statues and reference books. Bree, who has the sword here. And then the rest of the Game of Thrones statues, including the White Walkers. And down here we have about a 24-inch tall resin wizard. I found this one and one other one years ago in the early 80s at a furniture store, and I grabbed them and I've never seen them since, so I'm glad I got them when I did. Up top here we have Planet of the Apes. We have the original Charlton Heston figure, as well as Caesar, and then we have the newer movie statues. Below here we have the Warcraft Lich King sword, which is extremely big and heavy. Along with all the Warcraft collectible figures. And on this wall we have from Highlander, we have MacLeod's Scottish Claymore. You know what's going to happen open up another door. And this will take us in past the Lord of the Rings display. Treebeard. That will take us straight in to the Conan display. We've got Conan's father's sword. There we have that other resin wizard that I was telling you about, quite large. Okay, coming around here, we have Peter's sword from Narnia. And another Star Wars or Star Trek plate with film cells from Willow. Moving around to this corner, we have the Dragon Slayer collectible. I always thought it had one of the best dragons ever. And below him we have another large dragon display. It's about 24 to 30 inches tall. Above that, going across, we have the Matrix collectibles with dioramas. Over here we have another plate. Film cells, Starship Trooper. Here we have a statue of Thade on horseback from Planet of the Apes, and another very big statue down here from Warcraft. Now, over here we have the first of the Lord of the Rings weapons. Here we have Sting, along with the one ring there. We then have the gun corner, if you would. We have the dual blasters for Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxies. We have Decker's blaster from Blade Runner. We have the blaster from Judge Dredd. And then from Men in Black, yes, the Noisy Cricket. Moving around here, we have the assorted pewter pieces, along with some Lord of the Rings collectible statues. Below that we have the Chronicles of Riddick. There's 1,000 of those little statues produced. We have the Necromonger blade, as well as some other figures. Now on this wall, we have Ariel's sword from Lord of the Rings. And right next to that, we have a mannequin, which is wearing my authentic chainmail outfit for the Renaissance Fair. Over here we have some more Star Trek plates, followed by Star Trek corner. We have some ships, dioramas, lunch boxes. We have a communicator, tricorder, and the Hamilton Mint 3-dimensional chess set. Moving over from there, we have the Harry Potter display. Some signed pictures. The big sculpture in the middle. There was only a small number of those ever produced, and I got one of them, as well as the collectible bookends. Here we have Legolas's dual swords, elven swords from the Lord of the Rings. Spinning all the way around this side, we have the submarines. We have the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And below there we have the Sea View with the mini sub, flying sub from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Something I used to watch all the time as a kid. Moving over here, we now start the Star Wars collectible plates, and we have the X-Men display. These are 1/10 scale. And over here we have some spaceships. We have the Nautilus, or I'm sorry, the Odyssey from 2001, as well as the Eagle Transport from Space 1999. There was only 250 of these sculptures produced. And flipping over here, we have some collectible banks up top here. And up top here. Then we have the Justice League, headed up by Batman, of course. So we have Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. And then below there, we have the Marvel Avengers, along with the Infinity Stones. Doctor Strange, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man. Okay, making the way around to the corner, we have a stand-up, full-size stand-up of Boba Fett. Another Star Wars plate. And then we have a Halo display. Okay, and behind me, we have the sword from Lord of the Rings, the King's Sword, the one that was reforged. Up here, we have all the mini busts for the Star Trek, starting at Enterprise, the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Discovery. Who knows how many are yet to come. And then we have the big 36-inch tall Stormtroopers and Darth Vader with the titanium helmet collection topping out the bottom there. Okay, on this end cap we have Gimli's sword. Followed here by Strider's sword and knife combination from Lord of the Rings. We also had Gandalf's staff with accompanying pipe. Okay, moving in here, around here we have the Battlestar Galactica collection. E.T. film cells, another plate. We have the car corner with license plate. We have Back in Time's DeLorean We have the Batmobile, and we have Ghostbusters, Ecto 1. Here we have Doc Savage. Now this is a series I started reading when I was very young. Totally loved it. Have all the books and decided to go ahead and invest in this. This is 23 of only 25 artist proofs produced for this statue. So it's very, very rare. And then over here we have Lost in Space, the Jupiter. We have the red X-Wing of Luke Skywalker, and then from When Worlds Collide, we have the spaceship there. Here we have another plate, the Close Encounter of Cells. Now if we move back into this little room, Robot Alley, we start with Robbie from Forbidden Planet. We have B9 from Lost in Space. We have part man, part machine RoboCop. And then we got a full cybernetic organism in the form of the Terminator with Arnold. Alright, now right here, it's hard to show in here, but we have the Horn of Gondor from Lord of the Rings. Horn of Gondor, it's kind of hard to show in here. Waterworld Cells. Over in this corner we have a custom Colonel O'Neill with the Stargate from Stargate SG-1. And we have a statue of the Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord. Have some more plates. Here we have a diorama. There's only 1,000 of these produced, which is a Tarzan statue. I put together the diorama for that. Down here you have only one of 600 Buck Rogers statues produced. And below that we have a Predator diorama. Alright, and then over here we have Tron film cells. And last but not least we have War of the Worlds. George Powell's War of the Worlds made a big impact. I can still hear those saucers. And I have a representation of both the aliens, both the new one as well as the original from the series. Okay, so I've backed out back to where we were at with the Conan display and the second Resin Wizard because I wanted to show you the bathroom. And I'll show you one of my tricks. Alright, so let's go into the bathroom. We have the Guardian Stormtrooper there. If we open up the bathroom, you'll be able to see that we have a lot going on in here too. This is a signed poster by all of the cast of the Star Wars movies. And over here we have a collectible Darth Vader bank. I won't hit the button because it's extremely loud and annoying. And then we have the Black Series centerpiece. We have Luke, Darth Vader, and then we have Rey down here at the bottom. And Kylo Ren. And turning around in here, you'll see it goes around, and then we've got a full caricature type picture of all the people that have ever been in the Star Wars movies. Thought that was pretty funny. And then coming around, we have a Death Star that has crashed through my wall. And of course, the toilet, because Sith does happen. Alright. Okay, so we're outside the bathroom door. It's been closed. We're now going to go around the corner and go to the last room, that I want you to see. This is the room where I spend most of my time. Remember these guys? And the weapons over here. We're going to go in and check out my office. Now we have another stormtrooper. Go ahead and open the door. I make a point of saying that all the books in this room are reference books, meaning everything in here references books that are outside in the main library. For instance, we have Lord of the Rings reference books, a lot of Marvel. Here we have Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, a half-scale bust. It's limited to 1,000. And then we have the Jack Crab 1/4 scale that I've done a bit of diorama work with. Built all that. Okay, so looking into the room, kind of pan around. I'll come to each of these things separately. Of course, we have the Kylo Ren lightsaber, which I'm going to turn off. We have the half-scale bust of Kylo Ren. There's 1,000 of those produced. And then coming around here, the pictures that are on the back wall are actually film prints, pictures that were released back in 1977 when Star Wars was first released. I've hung on to them and finally got them in frames. And then I have what I call my Tatooine diorama. Go over here, we can see the Jawas at play. We have this massive dewback, which very limited. I got one of them. We have the sand people back there in the back. Some more sand troopers up here in front. This is actually quite large, quite heavy. Panning around, we have a half-scale bust of Darth Vader. Again, 1,000 of those produced. And up top, we have Darth Maul, half-scale bust. And then the Gamorrean Guard, which was one of the guards for Jabba's palace. He's pretty tall, and I think there was 3,000 of those produced. Okay, now moving to the top, we have the Kotobukiya 1/10 scale figures. I tried to put all the good guys on this side, with the Emperor in the middle, and then all the bad, semi-bad guys over here, including Jabba. Now dropping down a shelf, we have some more of Tatooine with the desert stormtroopers, and in the back there is a bantha. We have the Mandalorian, and Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma. Then we have Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul, which was from the first episodes, along with the Bloodfin floating scooter. And then over here we have the stormtroopers. Okay, then dropping down, have, well, Star Wars Unleashed, which is the 1/10 scale Star Wars Unleashed characters. And as we move over, I've got to back out on this one. This thing is huge. It's fully 16 to 18 inches, maybe more tall, weighs 30 plus pounds, and there was only 2,000 of these produced. That's the Rancor from the pit. And then over here we have some more of the Unleashed figures. Dropping down another shelf, we have some more. And then we have the large AT-AT bookends. There was only 800 of these produced. And then of course we have some more with the Emperor, Anakin. Okay, on the very bottom shelf, which I'm going to try to give you a view of, I have 5 of these. And what it is it's the deluxe edition of the books. And I'll give you an illustration on the first one. Each one interacts, has some special way of opening, and in this case it's the Book of the Sith, which pops out. Thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, those are down there. Now if we make our way over to the side here, we have the 1/2 scale bust of the Cantina player from Mos Eisley. Here we have Greedo, which I thought was appropriate over here next to Han. This one's actually autographed and signed by the lady that played Greedo in the action sequences, especially where she had the shootout with Han. And we have a few more of the Star Wars Unleashed figures. And backing out, we have Han Solo in carbonite. Excuse me. Now panning around, up top here, we have Star Trek. We have both Kirk and Spock collectible cookie jars. We also have some ships, and we have the crews. That's the original series. And there we have the Next Generation. Now dropping back and down, we have my diorama for Avatar. I used one of the helicopters to generate some action like it was actually attacking. Over here we have a 1,150 of these busts were produced. And then we have Jake Sully in a much bigger version. This is probably 18 to 20 inches tall, as is Neytiri here. Again, there's a film cells from the movie. And then we have about 2,700 of these Neytiri busts were produced. Now backing out and looking down, this is the book. Stands about 30 inches tall, 30 inches wide. You can see that it's quite thick. And I'm not going to open it right now, but this is the deluxe version of the Star Wars blueprints. And inside, there was 1,000 of these produced. There was 125 of them that were signed by the 3 Academy Award winners. And I have number 67 of 125. That's what's sitting there. It's a very big book. And then panning around, we have the Rocketeer. And the half-scale bust there. Again, 1,000 of those were produced. And panning around over my desk, we have a couple of different ones. We have the Assassin's Creed figures. And of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. Got Thanos back there in the background. And Gamora and Rocket. And then last we have Magic the Gathering. Figures from that collection. Have some signed pictures, Star Trek pictures, and this is my desk area. Again, I spend a lot of time in here. Kind of pan around and let you see it. And that's my office area. And this is pretty much the library. Okay, so we're at the very back corner, and I'm going to walk out of here so that you get a view of everything in one fell swoop. Sorry about the squeaking. I do want to point out that in all of this episode anyway is concentrating on mainly the collectibles, but it's important to realize that there are about 45,000 books that are providing a backdrop for all of this. Okay. And backing out, leaving the library behind. And I hope you enjoyed the tour.